watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to Daytime, everybody, and so excited to have my next guest because she's a regular on the show. And yesterday, had a cancellation, and we're trying to juggle. She's supposed to be in next week, but she's going away. And then I say, Julie, I have a last-minute cancellation. She says, I'm on it. Julie Finley, Mom in the Know, joining me here on the show. How are you?
It's very good, very good. I love getting a call from you, especially when I'm driving away from my house. I'm like, I love my house. I'm going to go back.
Yeah, I said yesterday, it was 10 a.m. this morning that I got in touch with you. So I thank you for that.
But you know what? I was kind of playing around in my mind because I know that parents are at home going, March break is coming. We're not sure what's going on with the weather. Stop looking at the weather app. It's just going to be what it is.
I love that.
I know.
It's so true,
it's
right?
True.
We are obsessed in this country with the weather, aren't we? It's because we have lots of it.
And we do. And it's beautiful outside. And I did talk to Stanley from Stanley's Maple Farm, 150-year-old farm.
Amazing.
He is ready. He is open March 2nd for everybody to come to the Sugar Bush. So I know when it went from -20, I think they call it the whiplash weather. We're at like +5 today. It's okay. And I love his farm. He's got animals. He's got tractor rides. It's a working farm. So everyone at home, for sure, make sure you're dressed for the weather. Little boots would be great because it kind of can get muddy. Or it could be a skating rink. So again,
you never know.
But I guess my tip for at home for the Maple Sugar Bushes is go online, check the website, make sure everybody's set to go. But Stanley's great
get
because
some pancakes.
Oh yeah, by the weight.
By the weight, I know. We were joking. I go in there, I stand on a scale, and that's how much I pay.
That'd be so fun.
$175, Derek.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, perfect. So what we're going to do is getting kids in the kitchen. Exactly.
Wonderful.
So maple syrup. I'm going to teach you how to freeze it, but I'm telling you, you're never going to freeze maple syrup.
No,
so we're going to make apple pie French toast.
Nice.
And it's good for you. So what I've done already is I've broken apart. So this is easy ways to get kids in the kitchen. Ripping apart bread. Yeah. Cutting up apples, chopping them, keep the skin on.
Egg bread, by the way?
That's egg bread, and it's Rito egg bread.
Oh,
so you can get that from Farm Boy as well. So and it's actually most local grocery stores. Yep. So we've already got 3 cups of, which is pretty much 3 apples already chopped up. Okay. We're going to add in 2 tablespoons of, this is the other thing. Have
this
your
is for
kids
me.
ready. Yes.
You
Give
know
them
me.
the tools.
I'm kind of like a kid in a way.
You're going to stir that together, some brown sugar and some cinnamon. So quickly, that's 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Nice. It is in a 13 by 9, but I find when you have kids over, they might want to go home with their own apple pie French toast. So maybe do 2 9 by 9s, just kind of creating your own camp. You're going to pour that on top. I've only put, so it is 10 cups of torn up bread. Okay. You're going to sprinkle this, just divide between the 2. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add the wet right to here so you don't lose any taste. Smart. Yeah, I was going to do that because I know you like to crack eggs, but you've got 3 cups of milk. You've got a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then you've got your maple syrup in here. And
trying to do the one-hander, Julie.
Yeah, 1/3. Oh, I love it.
Baby.
So this is why everybody should have aprons. And what you can do, I'm going to start stirring.
All of these?
All of them. Do it. It's like a race. So everybody at home, this is getting ready for the spring. Don't get rid of your eggshells. Hold on to them in a bag. They can go in your garden, and they keep all the bugs out of your garden. So all these things are happening in the kitchen. You're learning about how to grow. All our local growers. Apples are available all year long. Again, if you want any fun tips for parents at home, there's a whole kids corner on foodlandontario.ca.
Oh, that is a great spot, by the way, everybody.
Some super fun facts about everything, about how much apples are growing, how many So this, you're literally going to pour on top. Okay. And actually, you're going to put the rest of that bread on top first, could you?
Absolutely. Just split between the 2?
Split between the 2.
I did wash my hands just moments ago, everybody at home.
You can put this in the fridge ahead of time for when you want it, or at least let it sit for about 30 minutes so everything soaks in.
Could you put it in the fridge overnight?
Absolutely.
And do it in the morning?
Absolutely.
Okay,
and if you don't want to do it at any time, you could freeze it. You're going to split it between the 2. You're going to have your oven on at 350, and you're going to bake it for about 50 to 55 minutes. Nice. And then you're set to go. So that is one of our recipes.
There we go.
And you know, it's so nice. You just have it there. You can add ice cream to it because it is March break and it is kids in the kitchen. So have some fun.
Absolutely.
So, okay, we're going to keep those eggs. The next one we're going to do is biscotti.
Nice.
Okay?
I've
a lot
never
of people,
done biscotti.
I know, and you think it's hard, but it's actually not that hard.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll miss a step, but it's not too bad. What you're going to do while I'm going to talk to everyone is this is the icing that's going to be on top.
Okay.
It's a half cup of icing sugar, and it's a quarter cup of maple syrup.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the cutest little thing.
Oh, look at that.
I know. And you're going to whisk that together.
All right.
And that will be our topping.
Nice.
Like all baked things, there is dry and there's wet. So I've got 2 2/3 cup of flour. I've got a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a little bit of salt. We're gonna, I know, isn't that lovely? Okay, so I'm gonna give, did I have the other one?
What, you need this?
No, I'm gonna.
Oh, you got a whisk. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that for here. We'll use it later. We're gonna whisk the dry together.
Okay.
What I've already done is a half cup of butter and some brown sugar, and we're going to have you crack an egg.
Okay.
Okay, in there. And then we're gonna, again, add some syrup.
Oh, the one-hander, baby.
And that's kind of the fun you're having in the kitchen right there, right?
I know we always think of it as such a chore.
No.
It shouldn't be a chore.
Fun.
Like, have fun.
It's
Come up with a dumb accent in the kitchen if you want. Just have a little fun, you know?
You can even practice your French, kids.
I do.
There you go.
Sometimes my French chef comes out.
So all we're going to do here is we're going to turn that off. And make sure it's off. That's one thing that's happened before.
Important. Good call,
exactly.
Julie.
And then we're going to just mix this in a little bit, half and half.
One of these?
Yep. Go ahead, mix it in. And this is going to be a hard dough.
Okay.
So what you're going to, there you go. Are you ready? Use those muscles.
I'm ready.
Are you still using your personal trainer?
Yeah. George and I have been working out together for 14 years now.
Oh, my goodness.
George was a guest on the show.
Yes, I remember that.
And 14 years later, I'm still with him. I do strength training with him once a week.
Oh, lovely.
A full hour of really just killing me, basically.
Yes.
Thanks for that, George.
Yeah, it's always good.
Yeah.
And that's why your muscles are working so well, mixing all this together. Really what you're going to do with this dough, I've also gone ahead and I've toasted almonds. If you don't like almonds, chocolate chips. If you don't like that, put even apples in. It's a quarter cup. So you're going to add that in later. You're going to roll it into 2 12-inch doughs. You're going to put it on here just to roll it out. And then you're going to put it in your oven on parchment paper for about a half an hour till it's golden. And then that's when you take it out and slice it. And then put it back in.
And then you put this delicious stuff on there.
Lovely drizzle
maple syrup
on
and
top.
icing sugar. I mean, come on.
Come on. This is delicious. This is for you guys.
Julie, how much time do we have? No, the other Julie, not you.
Okay.
We've got a minute.
A minute. Well, you know what? That's all you need for this one.
Win it in a minute.
Win
with
it in
Julie
a minute.
Finley.
What you can do, kids in the kitchen, make your fish dinner. This is super easy. Broil on low for 7 minutes. That's it. Watch it. Make sure it doesn't burn. Make your own sweet potato fries. We got our sweet potato. You're just going to shave it. You're going to cut it. You got your fries. You eat fries. I let everyone.
You got it.
Know what to do. All you want for your dressing. Again, I'm going to take this. Always ready. I've got a quarter cup of maple syrup. I've got 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I have rice wine vinegar, and I've got a tablespoon of vegetable oil. I'm going to mix that together. That is your sauce on top. You're literally going to pour it. So if you don't want to broil it, this recipe actually says to throw it on a grill, but I think for kids, broiling is easier for me.
And 7 minutes. I mean,
7 minutes.
Everyone's like, I don't have time to make dinner.
7 minutes.
7 minutes,
Rainbow
everybody.
trout is available all year round, so you've got all these meals. It's perfect.
Julie Finley, Mom in the Know, foodlandontario.ca for these recipes and more. We'll be back with more right after this.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Like most of Canada's film and media industries, Todd Studio is mostly straight and white. But by pledging to check their privilege, Todd Studio can now help fund programs to finally create a more diverse talent pool. And Todd, you can stop hiding behind this plan. What?
Actually, I'm in the vents.
Stop hiding from our industry's lack of diversity and pledge to help POV fix it. Go to checkyourprivilege.ca.
I'm Meg, and this is Fit Finley, and we're from Fit Over 50. Join me for a new season, which is full of awesome workouts designed for adults 50 plus. Improve your motivation, your strength, and your energy. Join me for a new season of Fit Over 50 exclusively on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to RogersTV.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at RogersTV.com.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. So excited to have my next guest because it's a topic we've touched on just a few times here on the show, and I think it's a great education and a great learning experience for viewers at home. And that is my mic off? Jeff, don't worry, I'm a professional. I apologize. I turned my microphone off. As I was saying, this is a great education for our viewers at home. It's something that I'm very passionate about, and I'm learning each and every time I have a new guest on the show. And my next guest, let me introduce him to you now that my microphone's on. Jeff Collins is owner, horticulturist, and landscape designer with Rewild Landscapes. Welcome, Jeff. Great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so
Thanks
much
for
for
staying
having me.
cool while I wasn't.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. First, tell me a little bit about your background. Introduce yourself to our viewers, Jeff.
Yeah, so I grew up in the landscaping industry. I grew up in a small town. Do you know where Upper Canada Village is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do you know where Ryan Gosling is from?
Yes.
I'm fairly certain there's something in the water.
Nice.
Yeah, so there was only one person mowing all the lawns, and he happened to be my mom's boyfriend. So that means I was also mowing lawns.
Right.
And at 12 years old, I decided that I would never mow another lawn again or trim another hedge. So yeah.
For what reason?
It's just so...
Just because that's all you were doing?
That's all I was doing. It's just so much work. You do it every single week. And then every single time we went out, I just saw the grass getting shorter and shorter and shorter and the soil getting barer and barer. I was like, it doesn't seem to make sense.
Right.
Right? It just seems like we are putting so much effort into trying keeping something just tidy and neat that we barely use. We barely use our front lawns.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And I mean, are lawns even that good? Let's talk about that.
Absolutely not.
Really?
The world's most invasive species is probably lawn grass, besides us.
Really, eh? Yeah.
But yeah, it's all over the world. Kind of started in this area of the world because Thomas Jefferson was trying to match what the British were doing in Edwardian England. They had these vast lawns as a way to say I have so much money, I can pay someone to take care of this and do nothing.
It was
with
all about wealth at the time originally, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're like, look, I do nothing with this. I don't grow food. I don't do anything because I'm so rich. I can literally do nothing.
Wow. So is there such a thing then as native grass to Canada, to Ottawa, to this province?
Yeah, so there are a bunch of native grasses.
Okay.
But usually they're the tall grasses, so
Right.
they don't make a good lawn grass.
Gotcha.
But something that's becoming very popular if you are looking for a lawn, exactly, are sedge. It's not grass, it's a sedge. So you've
Okay.
got sedges and grasses. So sedge scaping is what it's called.
Okay.
And the idea is that you are doing the exact same thing, it's a monoculture, mono being one, culture being growing.
Right.
So it's still, just all sedge, but it looks like lawn, kind of feels like lawn. It grows to be 6 inches tall and then flops over, kind of like my hair.
Right. Okay. So something else we wanted to talk about. You mentioned, you're mowing those lawns and then you saw the soil deteriorating.
Yeah.
And we want to talk today about soil microbiology.
Yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
Okay, so we think of biology and we think of plants and animals, and that's all what's growing on top. right? You've got squirrels and moles and rabbits all on top of the land. But underneath, there is a whole soil food web, if you will, and it's all microscopic. Before we had earthworms, we had something called microarthropods. And so arthropods are like shrimp and crabs and lobsters. Those are all arthropods. They're not like insects.
Yeah.
And then you probably know like what roly-polies are.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's an arthropod too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so those little guys are like the biggest creatures that live in the soil, and they're the ones who do all the tilling.
Gotcha.
And then there's bacteria, protozoa, fungi, and there are fungi too that will sort of infect a root.
Okay.
So they're called mycorrhizal fungi, which this one here has a bunch of mycorrhizal fungi.
Okay. And is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
So plants can't feed themselves. Plants feed microbes, and then microbes feed the plant.
Right.
So here we have plant probiotics. And this is a mix of fungi and bacteria, and then here we have microbial mass.
Okay.
So these are really great products when you are going from lawn to an ecosystem.
So is this sort of a restoration that we're talking about here?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That you need these products to restore what was once probably good soil, but we've ruined it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So like underneath your lawn is kind of like concrete. You've got like a mechanical mixture under there. Like grade 8 science. You've got a bottle full of water, something in there that doesn't dissolve, doesn't make a solution. You shake it, and then it all falls to the bottom.
Right.
That's what happens underneath your lawn.
Okay.
You've got all that soil. You've got sand, silt, clay, and it gets all mixed up by roots. But when we have roots that only go down like 3 inches with the lawn grass, it's not mixing it. And then there's also nothing to live off of it.
Right.
So going to an ecosystem where you've got tap roots going down, or those native grasses, the tall ones, where their roots can go down meters into the water table, there's nothing to feed them.
I see.
Adding these back in is a really great way to get the ecosystem in the soil alive again, but they also need something to feed off of.
Right.
So they live on the roots. The roots are like giving them carbohydrates, but you need to have the whole cycle there.
Now this, I'm just thinking, a viewer at home's watching now, and they're probably intimidated. Oh my goodness, how much stuff do I have to buy in order to, bring it back to its original state? Is it a long process to get there?
It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So something like the soil activator, you can get at Canadian Tire. There's another product I really like, Root Rescue.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great, and they're like water soluble. So you just mix it with your water and then put it on.
I'm going to have you pause there because we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with Jeff Collins from Rewild Landscapes to continue our little lesson here on lawns and invasive species. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, hey. Wait, what was the question?
Let me guess. One driving high combo, extra baked?
No. Could I get a burger with a side of fries?
Think you're a better driver when you're high? Think again. Smoking weed affects reaction time and concentration. A message from Mad Canada.
I was born and raised in Musqueam First Nation territory by my mother, who spoke Hunkaminam to me. As a child, I ceased using my mother tongue, as to use any language other than English was considered not being Canadian, so I was told. The old people came to me in a dream and reminded me of who I am and where I come from. I have reawakened. My roots are strong, and I'm no longer a silent speaker. My language tells me where I'm from. It defines me and guides me to teach others to learn and understand our culture and traditions. A gift for those in the present and the unborn generations. What was lost is found. What was asleep has awakened. My blood is here, and I am complete. I have returned home.
I hope you join us for the next hour to give. I'm Sam LaPrade, and this week we're featuring Cornerstone Housing for Women. You're going to learn about a very important project, and you just may be able to help. Join us then for an hour to give.
Welcome back to the show. Back to continue our conversation with Jeff Collins from Rewild Landscapes, and we're talking about this ecosystem restoration. Yeah. And as you said, and it is possible, right? Yeah. It is absolutely possible to do it. And so if people are watching today, and let's get off lawns for a moment, and they have a beautiful garden, and they're wondering, hey, is this garden a native garden, or is it full of invasive species or foreign plants? Like, how do we figure that part out, Jeff?
Yeah, that's fantastic. So many of our regular landscaping plants are from countries that have similar climate to ours, in places in Asia or Europe, or we have Siberian crab apples. So they do really well, right? We're like, oh wow, if it can survive in Siberia, it can definitely survive here.
Right.
But that's the problem. We have Norway maples that are so invasive that they showed up on the $5 bill for a moment.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what happens is we bring these plants in. Some of them show up in bilge water because we're transporting stuff.
Right.
So zebra mussels were a huge problem. Yeah. Purple loosestrife was a huge problem in the 90s. Phragmites is probably the biggest one we have in Ontario right now. But then we also have all of these plants that you can buy at the nursery.
Right.
So vinca, which also is known as periwinkle, is super popular, and people have an emotional attachment to it, so it's kind of hard to get rid of.
Interesting.
But what happens is that it creeps along the ground and can get into our forest from your backyard.
Okay.
Big problem there, but a lot of people are like, oh, well, I keep it contained. But you don't keep the whole thing contained because we have birds and we have squirrels.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And seeds move on the wind, on the water, by gravity, and then animals transport it too.
Right.
So you've got your Japanese barberry in your front yard that is carrying lime-carrying ticks. It's a nice host for those. And you're like, well, I keep it contained, but it produces berries. Those berries get eaten, and then a bird poops in the woods.
Right. Right.
And then nothing will eat it. I don't want to trim it. It's so thorny. But then deer aren't going to eat it. And then the lime-carrying ticks get on there, and then who's going to have to take care of it? It's going to be you or your landscaper, and then you can possibly get lime from just hedge trimming, really.
Yeah. You sent along some photos. I don't know if we brought up any of those photos yet, but I'm going to ask my director, Dave, and whoever's on CG today to bring up some of those photos. So these are some of the things you were talking about, right? This little pyramid you've got here.
Yeah, exactly. So the soil is nothing more than different shapes of rocks, sand, silt, clay. And that's what your microbes need to feed off of.
Okay.
They live, that's their houses. But then they need organic matter. So this is a really good test in order to figure out what type of soil you have.
Okay.
So you take some samples from your yard, shake it up with some water, leave it overnight, and then you can kind of get a good idea. But really what we're looking for is what's called organic matter.
Okay.
And that's going to be floating at the top. So it'll be sticks, leaves, bugs. Bugs are one of the best things.
Are these some of the bugs you're talking about that we might? No, this is bacteria you've got here. Fungi,
yeah.
Right.
So these are the ones that are living in the soil. And these are some scary words to us, right? Bacteria, fungi. You think about black mold in your shower. It's a scary idea.
Yeah, no, right? You're right.
But we want mycorrhizal fungi, and we want the bacteria that are going to feed the plant. And those are the things that are going to make the tomato taste sugary.
Right.
Without them, you're going to have the tomatoes in the hothouse that taste like bleh.
And here's some of that organic matter that you touched on, right?
So when you are going from lawn to garden, you need to add a bunch of this in, because when we mow lawns, we take all the clippings away. And when we have leaves fall down from the trees, we take all those away. So you need to add that back in.
Yeah, and that's an interesting one, right? There's been a bit of a movement on clearing your leaves and when you should do so and why you shouldn't. Is it because of some of those things we just saw? They live there and that's what helps, you know, grow our gardens. Well, I mean, the forest, I guess, is a great example. Leaves fall, right? We don't go and rake that up. Yeah, so like that's a huge part, but also we have native bees that you know, they're not like honeybees. They aren't living in a hive somewhere. Right.
They need to live in leaf debris, or they need to live in stems. So right now is a great time for us to be having this chat, because a lot of people are going to go out and trim all of their plants back or start cleaning things up. But what you're going to do is kill off like an entire generation.
Really?
Yeah, a whole generation of our native bees. So the monarch butterfly is now on the endangered species list.
You're doing workshops on that, right?
I am,
at the Home and Garden Show.
How to like protect them and how to monitor them, doing like a whole citizen science thing. And we're giving away some seeds from northern wildflowers, just to like encourage people to plant them and like go and monitor.
Nice. You've got a couple other, before I run out of time, a couple of other presentations coming up at the Ottawa Home and Garden Show. March 21st, you're doing Transforming Lawns into Ecosystem, which is exactly what we've touched on for the most part. And then March 23rd, you're going to be there with the Box of Life, who've been on the show before. For those people that aren't familiar, what's that presentation about with the Box of Life?
That's going to dig more, it's going to dig deep into soil, if you will. So we're going to talk about all of the microbes and the organic matter and how to build soil. It takes 1,000 years to build an inch of soil, but we're going to do it in 3.
Really?
3 years.
Okay, fascinating. Before I let you go as well, I want to talk about, you brought this book for a reason, obviously. Is this one of these books you would consider like for beginners to look into, or?
This is an obsession of mine. It's a special interest.
I like it, okay.
So we talked about invasive plants. Let's go to the other side and talk about native plants. This one in particular is my favorite because it's delicious, but this is a tropical species of fruit that moved north during the recession of the last ice age.
Okay.
So it's like in the same family as guanabana, soursop, cherry moya, and it tastes like a tropical plant, but it grows here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's like a huge obsession about it. Like people online are like, there's like Facebook groups, festivals.
Jeff, great education. As you said, you could speak for the entire hour because his presentations, by the way, at the Home and Garden Show will be an entire hour. By the way, that runs at the EOI Center from March 21st to 24th. We'll be back with more daytime right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Like most of Canada's film and media industries, Todd's studio is mostly straight and white. But by pledging to check their privilege, Todd's studio can now help fund programs to finally create a more diverse talent pool. And Todd, you can stop hiding behind this plan. What?
Actually, I'm in the vents.
Stop hiding from our industry's lack of diversity and pledge to help POV fix it. Go to checkyourprivilege.ca.
On Rogers TV.
Like most of Canada's film and media industries, Todd's studio is mostly straight and white. But by pledging to check their privilege, Todd's studio can now help fund programs to finally create a more diverse talent pool. And Todd, you can stop hiding behind this plan. What?
Actually, I'm in the vents.
Stop hiding from our industry's lack of diversity and pledge to help POV fix it. Go to checkyourprivilege.ca.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. Always love talking about fantastic events that are happening in our city, and especially events that raise awareness and certainly educate viewers. Is just talking about, you know, education, such a big part of what we do here on the show. Here to tell us about the community sip and swap that is coming up in April. I'm joined by Pearlie Poupineau. She's the founder of Colors of Mama. Welcome. Great to have you here, Pearlie.
Thank you.
And Khadija El Halali is the founder of Support System. Welcome. Great to have you here as well. Pearlie, I'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about Colors of Mama. What was the inspiration behind this?
Colors of Mama was inspired when I became a mother myself, and I just realized that as a woman of color, there weren't as many inclusive spaces or resources that were particularly culturally focused and made sense for me. There were some lovely ones, but they just didn't fit. Okay. And so I started Colors of Mama to create resources that were for racialized parents or parents of racialized children. So it was inclusive for everybody, or aunties and uncles that had racialized children in their lives. Yeah, everyone's welcome. And we offer resources, we create them, or we find existing resources, because there's so many wonderful initiatives in the community already, like Khadijah's as well. So we work together a lot too.
Yeah. And Khadija, so tell me about Support System, and I have a feeling there's a play on words with the system part of this, right?
So Support System is meant to serve as a support system for single parents in Ottawa and Gatineau area. And I kind of started it as a thank you to my own mom, who's a single mom, nice. And she's an immigrant as well. So I learned through her how to navigate different systems, as I had to kind of do it for her because she didn't speak English. So I guess picking up on those ways to navigate systems and ways to get help for my family, I wanted to kind of share that with my community as well. Nice. And so Support System is a way to also reimagine different ways of distributing wealth, because I believe wealth looks and can show up in different ways. It's not always necessarily financial wealth. So here, we have clothes, and that's also a form of wealth that some people have.
Precisely.
It can also be knowledge. It can also be some sort of resources or services that can make someone else's day.
Nice. How did the two of you connect, Pearlie?
Through community work.
Yeah.
We've both always, we come from communities that once needed this type of support and relied on it. And literally, all of the other organizers as well kind of know each other from the work that we do.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're talking about this, you're pointing at the table. So what exactly is this, the Community Sip and Swap? Tell me about it.
So the Community Sip and Swap started, again, through inspiration in relation to work we already do. Finding and sourcing items that were needed in the community but were unaffordable, and with thrifting becoming so expensive, it's starting to become inaccessible, and we talk about this a lot. So folks would reach out to us and say, hey, we have baby items and maternity things, and during COVID a lot of places were overwhelmed and couldn't accept them, but we could, because a lot of folks would reach out to us and say, oh my gosh, I need rain boots, I need a carrier, I don't have it, and we would say, what size? And our homes are full of things. We don't have proper storage space, but we're happy to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
so
kind
the
of you
Sip
to
and
do
Swap
that.
Thank you. The Sip and Swap kind of became an integral space. We didn't want it to feel like a space where you kind of just come and pick things out of a bin. Everything's clean. Everything's beautiful. A lot of the things are not even worn yet and have tags on them. Yeah. So we keep them and we present them beautifully.
I'm glad you mentioned that about thrifting. And don't get me wrong, there's some great thrift shops out there, but there has been a change.
Yeah.
I believe it was CBC did a huge expose on Value Village, right? Is that, I see. But no, am I not wrong? Am I not right? You walk into some of these stores now, and you're blown away.
Yeah,
right?
It's totally inaccessible, and I think that's something that we're trying to target is parents who want to live sustainably, but also affordably.
Right.
Because I don't think Value Village is affordable anymore. It's kind of like going to any other retail store, like Marshalls or Winners. Like it's really no different. So I'm hoping that, we're hoping that like kind of creating a space where people now have a different place to donate to. They won't. Maybe we'll serve as a substitute.
Yeah.
So how does the sip and swap work? How does the event work?
So how it works is we kind of do a community call out. Again, people always reach out to us and give us items, which is great. We have bins and bags full, but we do a call out. We say, hey, we're looking for these particular items for maternity items, baby items such as carriers, clean bottles, bottle warmers, things like that. And you bring them to 17B Beach Street in Little Italy. And we organize everything. We make sure they're clean. We wash them, we steam them, we hang them. We give them that integral feeling. And we place the items out. And then we set a date. And these are reoccurring sip and swaps. So we have one April 7th. And we have one for back to school August 11th. So folks have it to rely on.
So there's no cost?
There's no cost. And we serve coffee, tea, and snacks.
Amazing.
And there's things for the kids to play with too, so parents can bring kids.
You have some other partners as well that you've hooked up with. We should give them a shout out. So Fabric Collective, can you tell me a little bit about them?
Fabric Collective is actually the space that we're utilizing. It's a store in Little Italy. It's shared with Nonna's Famous Pizza, both community organizations, and great pizza. And Fabric Collective is a thrift store, but an affordable one. And we utilize the resource for my children, for children in our lives. And instead of getting like, a little pair of jeans like this for $11 that our kid will wear for a month, she'll price them at maybe $2.99, and it's like perfect,
Fantastic.
And she does the same thing. Cleans the items, steams them, presents them beautifully, and so that's the space we're utilizing.
Full Moon Doula Services is another. Jessica was actually going to be here today, but I understand you're not feeling well. Sorry about that, Jessica. But another great organization.
We have two doulas. So we have Charisse, which is Full Moon, and then Jessica is a doula on her own independently, and also part of Black Ottawa Connect. So Rooted and Resilient is their doula program, and it's amazing.
Nice. And last, I'm sure everybody knows Ottawa's Coalition to End Violence Against Women. Fantastic coalition that's really built up, and community members like you have helped build that up. It's a shame we need a coalition like that, but unfortunately we do. Do people need to get tickets or anything for the event? Just show up?
Yeah.
Just show up and you're good to go.
If you have items that you want to get rid of, you can also bring them on that day. It's kind of like a take what you need, bring what you have exchange, but you don't have to bring anything to participate.
Congratulations to both of you and all the other partners and everybody that's donating. This is a fantastic idea. Again, Community Sip and Swap, 70B Beach Street, Sunday, April the 7th from 12 to 5 p.m. is their latest, and they have another one coming up in August. We'll be back with more right after this.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
I am Gagwege. My name means everything.
Tom Longboats.
I am Wolf Clan, Onondaga Nation. I've run many different races. I've run to survive and to be free. I've run to win for honor.
His people might be lazy, but this one's damn fast.
My people respected our runners, people who carried important messages from village to village.
I need a guide to the next post. Dispatch carrier, sir. I can get you there. God's sakes, man, slow down. Who do you think I am, Tom Longboat? No, sir. I am.
Running makes me feel alive. It's everything.
Tom Longboat was the first Indigenous person to win the Boston Marathon. He ran his way to international fame and became an inspiration to generations of athletes.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Welcome back to the show. Well, last time I had my next guest on, she was helping her mom in the kitchen prepare a delicious meal. And then she said to me at the end of the segment, hey, by the way, I'm a filmmaker. I'd love to come back on the show. I said, well, then absolutely. She is an award-winning filmmaker, by the way. Lisette Sandoval joins me. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you so
Welcome
much
back.
for having me.
Tell me about filmmaking, your background in film. How did you get involved in filmmaking?
It all started when I was around 12, 14 years old. And I used to love cartoons that were like Japanese, like Magna. Okay? Yeah. And so there was a music that I loved very much, but didn't have a music video to it. So I decided to just make it, just write it based on the song, brought my friends and some cousins in it, and I loved the whole project of directing them, telling them where to sit, where to go. And since then I thought, okay, this is for me. This is something that I love.
And so you've done a couple of shorts as well,
yes.
But this, what we're talking about today, this is your first feature-length film,
yes.
And it's called Penelope's Story. Before I have you describe it, I'm just going to ask them to roll the trailer, and we'll come out of that trailer and talk about the inspiration. Have a look at Penelope's story here.
Let me go. Let me go. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here. I'm here.
All good things for those who wait, huh?
Child, don't be afraid to let your mess become your message.
Trailer. Really, really well done. So tell me, what is this story about?
So Penelope's story is about the rebirth of a victim of sex trafficking. So it's about a strong-willed teenage girl tormented through years of sexual slavery who gets a chance to escape her bondage. But the question is, can she break the cycle of abuse? So the story focuses mainly on the journey someone takes from being a victim to the hero of your own life.
What was the inspiration behind this story?
Yes, that's an excellent question, because I had the inspiration back in 2020 in a trip that I was doing with my family to Manitoulin Island in North Ontario. And I saw a big billboard that says buying sex is a crime. And that caught my attention because I'd never seen anything like this here in Canada. Right. So as we were going along the highway, past a few farms, I kept seeing this type of billboards. So it got me intrigued to do a little bit more investigation, did research, and this led me to several organizations that deal with victims of sex trafficking in the area. And the statistics that they were giving me were shocking to me, to know that this is happening here in Canada in our backyards and we don't know about this. So it just led me to do this film, not only to bring awareness, but also to convey mercy, forgiveness, and compassion to anyone who has dealt with any kind of abuse.
This has obviously received a great audience response. You put it into a number of different film festivals. Let's talk about the response and the film festivals. There's some awards that are involved as well. Tell me about that journey so far.
Yes, so far it's been in 5 film festivals. In New York, we've been in Toronto, we've been in Rome, Italy, here also as well in Ottawa in the Latin America Film Festival. And it has been nominated twice won an award so far.
Nice, congratulations.
Yes. Thank
I think
you.
we just saw you there with one of the awards, by the way.
Yes.
We're just going through some of the photos here. Tell me about the cast and crew, because I understand this isn't a huge crew, right?
That's
there were, what, three of
there
you?
Were 3 of us,
including
me.
you.
Yes. So
Tell me about that. I mean, the challenges of doing a film of this size, right? A feature-length film.
Yes, it wasn't easy, but because I have a business background as well, I was able to do all the planning on pre-production. So I had how many equipment we're going to have on set, the set location, and I broke down the dates on shooting and what scenes we were going to shoot in such an order that we were able to do everything in 5 days.
Wow.
Yes,
that's
and
impressive.
because I love being behind the camera, so I was sharing many hats on set.
Did you film it here in Ottawa, in the Ottawa region?
In Wakefield.
Oh, in Wakefield.
Quebec,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, beautiful spot. Self-financed? So this all of this came out of your own pocket, is that right?
70% of it.
70%.
Yes, was
okay.
self-financed, and the other 30% came along from donations, fundraising. Some people donated the locations as well.
Oh, nice.
It was just so beautiful because the way I was able to get all these is mainly because of my mission, why I wanted to make this film. And just people were moved by it alone, that they were just like, you know what, I give you this, and time, money, or resources to make it happen.
How did you find the actors? What was that audition process like for you?
Yes, we had to do it through Zoom because we were getting out, you know. Yes, we were getting out of the, the COVID area where we would not be able to be in person, so everything was on Zoom. And I found out that it was a great experience because I had to do like 2 takes with them. So one take was like, just do whatever you want and see what happens. And then the second take was more like, okay, I'm gonna give you direction. Let me see if you can follow the direction.
Yeah, and more casting agencies are doing that too, right?
Yes.
It's sort of the Zoom kind of idea. You send it in. Is this film available to the public yet?
No, yet, because we're still doing distribution through film festivals, so we're still waiting another 5 more film festivals by the end of September.
Excellent.
And then we are obviously actively seeking distribution for the film. We want to get it in streaming platforms for the audience by October of this year.
Well, I wish you all the success. Congratulations on all your success so far.
Thank you so much.
Don't go anywhere. Hey, we'll be back with more Daytime right after this.
Like most of Canada's film and media industries, Todd Studio is mostly straight and white. But by pledging to check their privilege, Todd Studio can now help fund programs to finally create a more diverse talent pool. And Todd, you can stop hiding behind this plan. What?
Actually, I'm in the vents.
Stop hiding from our industry's lack of diversity and pledge to help POV fix it. Go to checkyourprivilege.ca.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
I still remember the games. The laughter, the footsteps through the hallway. I'll never forget the challenges.
Every day I come back from work, it's always like this. We're yelling in front of the kids.
I'll never forget the help we needed. How far we've come.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
I hope you join us for the next hour to give. I'm Sam LaPrade, and this week we're featuring Cornerstone Housing for Women. You're going to learn about a very important project, and you just may be able to help. Join us then for an hour to give.
Are you looking for work? Well, many people probably find themselves in that position, or perhaps if you're not looking for work, but you're miserable in the job you're in now, perhaps you need to find a support system, and a career coach is a great way to do that. And my next guest says that looking for work is like going on vacation. We'll find out what she means by that. Michelle Schaefer is owner and career coach at Michelle Schaefer Coaching. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Derek. Great to be here.
Some people are scratching their heads. Hold on. Looking for work is kind of like going on vacation. What do you mean by that?
It sounds a lot like fun when you put it like that, right? And looking for work can be fun as well. The reason I call it that is because when you're looking for work, you need to have a destination. You need to have a focus, similar to going on vacation. And to go along with that destination, you need to really have a plan. So a lot of people, when they start working with me, come to me feeling really frustrated because they are looking on the job boards, they're looking all over, they're overwhelmed because they can't really find what they're looking for. And the reason for that is they haven't really done any reflection to figure out what is that destination, what is your career focus, and then actually building a job search strategy to support you.
Yeah, when you sent your notes along, you said reflection was a really important part of this. And I guess you can reflect on, whether it's negative or positive, because there's probably those things involved in the work that you're in now.
Exactly.
What do you think of it? So I'm reflecting on my job. What do I look at, do you think?
Absolutely. And there are certain things that I really encourage individuals to focus in on. First thing is do some reflection over the course of your whole career, the kinds of work that gives you energy, and being really specific. I mean, some people will say to me, I love helping people, but that's not very specific. But if you say to me, I really enjoy having conversations with clients, getting a deep understanding about their needs, and making some recommendations to help with that, that can really give people energy. So that's item number one, because you want to do a lot of work that does give you energy.
Right.
You don't want to be doing a lot of work that maybe you're very skilled at but doesn't give you energy. And that's factor number two I ask people to reflect on. Things that maybe they're even known for, people come to them for, but they really sap that energy. It actually drains them.
I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because I'm sure that resonates with a lot of people that are thinking, well, I'm really good at this, but that's not everything.
Exactly.
Right? If you're miserable and really good at something, you're not exactly enjoying life and you're not enjoying your career.
No.
You also say, as part of a job search strategy, that there are three elements to that.
Yes.
Let's talk about, I think you touched on online job boards.
For sure, yeah.
Why is that so important these days?
That's important because that's oftentimes where a lot of jobs are actually posted. So sites like Indeed, LinkedIn is a great place to find jobs that are advertised. Monster Workopolis, Flex Jobs for remote jobs. Those are all possibilities. Charity Village for not-for-profit opportunities. Yeah. But this is the thing that I find a lot of clients will do is they'll spend all of their time looking on the job boards and they're missing out on a whole lot of opportunities because there's a lot of opportunities that are not posted that you need to actually find out through conversation. And so I really encourage clients to get connected to recruiters, explore opportunities that way, and really talk about the kinds of things that they're looking for with other people, because you never know what kind of opportunities you might find about just by talking to other people, like neighbors, friends, former colleagues, former leaders even.
Yeah, and you know what? I think, the first thing that came to my mind talking to other people was, networking events, but not necessarily, like sometimes people are, that's not their thing. They perhaps are intimidated by it, but you just mentioned all those other people that aren't intimidating.
Yes.
Your friends, your family, your colleagues, right? People in your neighborhood, your neighbors. Right?
I mean, I found out there's somebody that I worked with actually, and she simply dropped off her son one day at a neighbor's or down the street to play hockey, and the father of her son's friend was, senior at an IT company, and this individual started just talking about, oh, I'm looking for work, and this is what I'm looking for. She was looking for a job in IT. Well, the dad said, well, guess what? I'm actually hiring. Why don't you send me your resume? This individual got not only an interview, got a second interview, actually got the job. How did this happen? They were just having a conversation on the street. So yes, there's lots of great ways that are not intimidating, that don't involve going to events. It's just talking to people about what it is that you're looking for and what it is that you really want.
When do you get to a point, Michelle, that I should come see somebody like yourself?
Yeah, I mean, when you're feeling overwhelmed and frustrated and discouraged, definitely those are good times. Even if you're just thinking about looking for work, maybe you're in a situation where you just feel feel the love for your work draining from you, things that gave you joy before don't give you joy anymore. Maybe you're working in an organization that, I will say, don't believe the same things that you believe in, where maybe there's a bit of a values conflict. Yeah. And so when you're starting to think about that, maybe you dread Mondays, you don't want to go to work, you're suffering from like fatigue or headaches or other stress-related symptoms, they may all be signs that you may need to find something else. So that's a good time to start the conversation. I like to say that's all information for the bank. It means that something needs to happen. It's just a matter of what.
So then how do you help? I come see you, and what's the process look like?
So the first thing that I'll do is I'll help you do all that reflecting on the work that gives you energy, the stuff that doesn't give you energy anymore. What are your values? What kind of leader and team do you want to work with? And what are your non-negotiables? So those are your deal breakers, the things that are so deeply important to you. You might walk away from a job if they weren't there. So reflection is number one. Then I help you figure out where you can find all of those things that are important to you in the job market, and help you build that plan. So a plan that's founded on what kind of job boards you can look at, what recruiters would be really good for you to reach out to and have some contact with, and then what kind of a networking strategy should you have, because looking at online job boards is only 20% of the work effort.
It's just like doom scrolling in a way. No, but I'm serious. People are just saying, oh, there's another. You know, you need, that doesn't motivate. Really appreciate the time, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
mschafercoaching.ca, by the way, to find out more information so you can sit down and talk to somebody to help you through everything we just discussed. We'll be back with more right after this.
On Rogers TV.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Hey, welcome back. Big thanks to all of our guests, as usual, for joining us on the show. Just go over a couple of things. Big thank you to Jeff Collins. He's the owner of Rewild Landscapes. He's a horticulturalist and a landscape designer. And, you know, we talked, you know, in a 14-minute period, you're not able to sort of understand everything that he was talking about when it comes to that ecosystem and revitalizing your space and your ecosystem and your garden and so forth. Anyway, he's got some wonderful presentations coming up at the Ottawa Home and Garden Show. March 21st at 5 p.m. he's talking about transforming lawns into ecosystems. And then on March 23rd at 3:30 p.m. he'll be there with the Box of Life and really talking about how to build your own soil and bring all those organics and all those things that are important. And then every day he's going to have a workshop about citizen science and tracking endangered monarch butterflies. So if you're interested in any of that, please visit, again, the Ottawa Home and Garden Show happening at the EY Centre March 21st to 24th, and the Community Sip and Swap happening on Sunday, April the 7th. You can find out more information online. That's from 12 to 5 p.m. We'll see you next time here on Daytime.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Hi, I'm Paula Roy, and it's my pleasure to welcome you back into my kitchen for another season of Paula Roy's Favorite Foods. My approach to food is pretty straightforward. Fancy is fine, but when you're in a time crunch or have a really hungry and patient family to feed, I say simple recipes made with wholesome ingredients that you probably have on hand are the best. And that's exactly what you'll find on Paula Roy's Favorite Foods on Rogers TV.
and roasted the most perfectly golden brown marshmallow you'd ever seen.